Welcome back once again, real people, real life, Wichita, Kansas, America! Woohoo! All right, so this is actually, we taped some shows in advance so that we would not, be taking up everybody's time and family time and
during the holidays.
So technically and officially, this is our first time back here at Mind Fire Academy.
At Mind Fire in the new year.
In the new year.
2016.
2016.
Correct.
Brand new year.
I know, right? And so today I'm getting ready, and there's so many things going on. And I mean, I feel like my head has just been spinning, trying to keep my in-tuned antennas, if you will, tuned into every little thing going on, to the point where it is literally, I'm internalizing it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I...
Like what types of things?
Oh, there's a list, and we'll get to that. But I just so that you know, I originally broke out in hives that turned into welts that were this big. So all the way from my arms and everywhere. Gross. So I've been like bathing in my hempies.
Have
you? And it's dried it all up, and it's going to be going away. A lot of times when I internalize stress, my body will show me signs that I'm taking on more than I can handle, okay? And I think that all of our bodies has a way of communicating with us when we're not doing something that we're supposed to be doing. So my body was saying, slow it down, Robin, breathe, and all these sorts of things, right? So I'm trying to listen to my body and do these right things, and I've got friends that are telling me for different reasons, and I understand, believe me, I understand. The holidays sometimes create additional stress for people.
Yes.
Okay, and so would you not agree? I mean...
For sure.
Okay, and statistically speaking, suicide rates go up, and a lot of things happen because of the holidays.
Did you know that January 1st is the number one day out of 365 for people to die? Not just, and I'm not talking about alcohol-related or suicide, just die from heart attacks or whatever.
Correct. And
This is a fascinating statistic.
It is, and so, before the holidays, I got some information on from some of our holistic friends and holistic doctors, and some studies that said, you don't believe me, Google search it yourselves, kids. These little things here, cashew nuts, that I've been passing around. These are wonderful as a natural depression fighting agent.
What?
Yes. So I got the statistics on that and the study on that, and I was like, woo! And I actually, before Christmas, I went and bought tons of cashew nuts and gave them out to everybody. And I'm like, that's it, I've had enough. Everybody's getting nuts for Christmas.
We did that, a couple years ago.
Yeah, so...
That's a long-standing Christmas tradition, too.
I know, right? And
I wonder if somebody knew
about that.
Or could feel it. Maybe didn't know it.
I know.
And just so you all know, this is how she pays us.
Yeah,
in cashew nuts. This is it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who knew nuts would keep you from going nuts?
I know, right? Well, I did bring some salted peanuts, too, in case anybody gets the money
Did they
here in a
keep
little
you
bit.
happy?
We got boxed up with cashews this year.
Or peanuts?
Cashews.
Now,
Well,
doesn't it take like 100 gallons of water to make one cashew in California, or is that a different nut?
actually, my girlfriend from California, it's a different nut. My girlfriend from California sent me some information on the nut from South America, on the cashew, and I was just completely blown away. And again, Darcy with Hemp Ease is from California, and when she sends me natural healing arts and holistic healing opportunities, believe me, she knows what she's talking about. Thank you, Darcy. Okay,
So wait, are cashews from South America then?
well, the ones that she showed me, some of the studies and statistics actually were.
I was
So
gonna
are
say,
those different?
aren't Brazilian cashews like the best cashews ever?
Brazilian nuts are different
Brazilian
than...
nuts are good.
They're different
So,
than
but-
cashews, though. They're not the same thing, are
Because
they?
they...
I know,
No, they're other, but I think Brazilian cashews. I've
Yeah.
heard that's.
I've heard of a Brazilian before.
So
Right?
are the cashews
It's
grown
pretty
here
exotic,
in the
Don.
United States?
Well, I know, right?
Especially at the
Same
spa.
nature?
Well, actually, okay, hang on. These particular were distributed by Kroger Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
So
there you go.
does where it's grown matter, like the moringa tree, how it's got all those? I mean, is it the ground? I mean, could it affect the...
Or the climate, especially, probably.
Right.
But the water, I would imagine the aquifer is the most important thing. So, yes, I would say the groves do matter. I
Right.
think wherever you're growing it, you're going to get whatever's in the water.
Ooh, that's kind of scary.
Yes, it is.
And the ground.
And the ground, yes, and the grass, and the, yes, absolutely.
Ew. So anyway, nuts to you all.
I can't even feed bugs from outside to my bearded dragon because of all the just natural.
I know, right? And it's getting worse.
What, really?
And you guys know you guys know that right now, our normal aquifer, our normal water reclamation system has put antidepressants into all of us.
Yes.
We are being fed a whole bunch of lovely things. So, nuts to
Disguised with little
Right on.
fluoride.
Not so much. Well, you know, I
see the doctor then.
Well, yeah, really, seriously. You just drink the water.
prescriptions refilled, kids, because it's already in your water. But I got really upset one time with somebody that works for a hospice care, and when the person that they were in charge of taking care of through their final days, and once the person passed, she said, well, I need to take those prescriptions and flush them down your toilet. I'm like, whoa! And no, you're not.
That's been the practice, though, for
That
a
has been the
long
practice for a
time.
long time.
Absolutely.
That's
And
the
I-
practice when you're about to get busted. Runs it to the toilet.
Yeah, that
You guys
too.
are fooling yourself. It's just not people that have passed dumping those.
Okay,
things.
well,
right,
that's
right.
true,
Well,
right?
but-
It's those people that are paranoid that it's not him.
It could be like the home care person that maybe prescribed
Right.
the wrong crap.
I think they're
don't know.
taking those.
Yeah, they might be taking the good stuff,
not fooling
and
me.
whatever.
Well, you know, one of the key problems here is we don't understand human physiology enough to know what metabolites are actually excreted. We just assume rather passively that these things do not keep going through,
Right.
and we're reconsuming all of them. So yeah,
we need to make
I need to drink more tap water.
exactly.
Why are you depressed?
No, you know.
Oh wait, you're depressed here. There you go, cashews to the rescue. So
Take a payment.
we're starting something kind of new this year, and we've been asked to do this for a long time. Of course, we always, most of the time always, we have Jen, we have Dawn, we have Fawcett, we have me, we have Rhodey, right? This is your main crew. We have been asked by numerous people to be considered as guest hosts on a regular basis.
Well, and we have asked a couple because
Yes.
we left them.
Exactly. So I know Senator Olitha.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So when you go to our website, and we're going to be doing a lot of work to it here in the next couple of days, when you go to the website, you're going to start seeing a list of additional. They're not going to be like regular hosts like us normally.
Because they're busy and
Because
we're like,
well,
you know.
some of them. Well, no, we're all busy,
Not
but
as much.
but we want to include some of these guest hosts on a more regular basis. So, if you don't mind, could you introduce Shiva, who is going to be one of our guest hosts?
So we've got Shiva back.
Shiva,
Hi.
I've known
been
you
here
for how many
before.
years?
Yeah.
How many years?
For-
In and out years, I don't know.
Long time.
10, 15?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably
all right.
10, 15 in there.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, God, I'm getting old. So I know Senator Olitha is, and I'm waiting to hear back on a certain
And some
city
others.
council member and another very good justice advocate friend of mine.
And Rudy.
And Rudy Love, and some others. So
Love.
we're going to have some fun stuff this year, and I know that we've already got guests in mind for next week. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh,
That's going to be a big one. And Jen's going to get to work for us on doing another show that has to do with autism. I do want
actually
to.
have the people with autism back on the show.
Right, yeah, and
Oh,
I
did we
do.
get that young lady with
Yeah,
you?
yeah, we'll definitely talk to Aaron, and we'll talk to
Aaron's
the
going to be
rest
back.
of the ops, and,
Yeah. And I don't know if we did get this on or not, but we are going to make a point of getting some of our local holistic doctors that we've had on in the past, have them back on, because there's been some, in the last couple
Some
months,
findings.
several notable holistic doctors that have been found either missing and or deceased. And it has made national news in the last several months. And a friend of mine from Hawaii shared something on social media, God love it, that's talking about the murdered holistic doctors discovered cancer-causing enzyme being added to all vaccines. Now, please don't take that for gospel. I am simply reading something that has been posted internationally on Facebook, okay? So I'm not saying that this is how it is, okay? I'm not saying it's true. I'm not
But
saying
we're
it's
not
false.
also saying it's not.
So it's something that we're going to look into is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
And anything that you find on the internet, no matter what it is,
Right.
from over here to over here, do yourself a favor and try to really find out what the facts are.
Oh, due diligence.
Yeah,
Thank
due
you.
diligence and try, because you can put anything on the internet that you want to.
That's right.
I could make up a bunch of numbers and statistics like I did the
We've
other
had
week.
this conversation before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody can make up anything they want to, but you really need to, research it for yourself and find out what's true and what's not true.
Time is it?
It's at least 80. It's higher than 85%, and that's a real number.
I'm sure it is.
Okay,
So proud of you.
Or is it?
For doing
I'm
the research.
thinking, I was thinking to myself,
99% of all statistics are true, at least 100% of not the time. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and I got into it the other day on Facebook, of course, imagine that, on the subject of accountability. Okay, and as you're looking at me now versus 2 or 3 weeks ago, I have probably gained easily 15, 20 pounds. Whose fault is that? It is my fault, okay? My fault. Okay, my husband's behind there going, it's partly his fault as well.
Okay, wonderful food.
But because, I indulged, I have nobody to blame but myself. I indulged in lots of homemade pies and all the wonderful, Christmas and Thanksgiving yummies and a ton of cashews, let me tell you.
How bad are those?
There, you can put a little few
That's
pounds
part
on
of what
this.
makes them good. Is the
I know, yeah. So I was all got this new dress on, and I'm ready to be here today. And put that dress on, and I was like, "Oh, that ain't gonna work." Even though I'm very thankful for the desk that we all get to sit behind, I would like to thank my husband and his closet for his sweater that I'm wearing, because it's nice and big. Thank you. And for those of you that have also gained any pounds or whatever, I feel you.
Now, today's topic was multiculturalism, perhaps racism, but you'll notice I don't get the desk to hide behind. What is up with that? They put the brown guy over here where you can see exactly.
You're also the skinny guy.
I was going to say,
fair
you
enough.
are very skinny, my friend.
Okay.
But
More
Aaron's a good
cashews.
My
guy.
hair is bleached blonde, and I haven't seen the light of sun for a minute, but I'm actually brown myself.
Oh, this is going to be good. Here we go.
Okay.
Real people real life. We'll be right back.
Rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Rolling. Ride. Welcome back, Real People Real Life. Yes, we sing weird songs.
There's a funny, very Kansas thing about that song, Rawhide.
Yeah.
Guess who the first person to ever play that was?
Who?
Johnny Western.
Seriously.
Yep.
That is way cool.
Did you know that?
I did not. No, that's the way it is.
See, we always learn something new.
KFDI.
Yeah, Johnny, he was the first one to ever play that. He didn't write it, but they gave the music to
It was
him
the
for
first time
him
that-
to play it so that he
Really?
could teach the other person who sang it then.
Unbelievable.
Which is my favorite episode of Heavy Pork, I must say.
That was a good one. I
I love that episode. That was a
Yeah.
great episode.
So,
Johnny.
the thing that I don't think sometimes the viewers understand is there's all of us. And now Seth is not here yet. He's in a huge meeting. So, Seth, go get him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Seth.
Yeah, well, I knew he wasn't going to be here. He's in a big meeting, but he'll be here as soon as he can. Don't eat all my nuts. Anyway, yeah.
Don't put him there.
Seriously. She's already got the munchies over here with everything she's got going on. But normally, it's just Jen and Landis and Fossa and me and Rhodey and of course Seth, who didn't be able to make it today. But we are incorporating guest hosts that we've been asked to do, and we have done several times. We did do a show a while back. I don't think you were here yet. We were in the old studios, old deal, and we did a show. It was multicultural. Was the topic of the show. And the reason we did this, and I'm going to say this again right now, the reason that show was so important to me is because, in my opinion, and in my heart of hearts, I know that as a city, as a state, and as the United States of America, we are made up of many cultures. Okay? I do not walk in the shoes of somebody. I can trace my heritage back to being a blonde-eyed, blondish, or blue-eyed, blondish-haired German, and there's a ton of document that supports the German side of where I come from. But I don't have maybe a big American Indian or Lebanese. I have a lot of Lebanese friends. There's all these different walks of life and cultures that we all have friends, we have family, and before we know it, and what we really are is a mixing pot here in the United States.
So America's so special.
With
the mixing pot.
Exactly. So with respect to everybody of every culture, I want to say thank you to Rhodey for having Shiva come on today. And the thought was that we were going to have this ultimate discussion and take it from there.
Well, first off, we're going to be talking about Star Trek.
Okay, let's do the alien crowd, right?
Start the camera.
No, wait, we are.
Well, no, because in fact, actually, I did post today that I have had it with human women. I am only going with green Martians from here on. So green lives matter, and from now on, that's where I'm going. To hell with all you human scum. Green lives matter. Point
For
one.
the Martians yet.
I was going to say, do we have the okay from them?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, we have to consider this. We have to move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. I would agree with you. I would agree with everything that was just said. I think that the most phenomenal thing about the American experience is it is the most openly multicultural experience.
Mm-hmm.
Are we right now on the verge of some xenophobia? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there a tension going on?
Yes.
Yeah. Are there discussions that have to happen? Yeah. But are we still the most openly multicultural place? Obviously. Or I would not be sitting at this table. And, you know, I would not have my lovely off-white children. Hey, off-white children. I would not have that, okay? So the fact is, we melt, we intermingle.
Right.
The history of humanity has been about a couple of things: war, trade, and sex. And those things have created the confluence of religions, thoughts, and peoples that make us up today.
Right.
And the fact that we can openly even have the discussion and talk about it says a hell of a lot more about us as a people and where we're at than it does a lot of other countries.
That's true.
So I've always thought we are the greatest experiment that has ever been tried. And with any great experiment, you have great failures.
Oh,
and we've had some great failures, you know?
Good and bad and everything.
Exactly.
But if you don't mind, share, if you would, please, a little bit of your background. You know, because I find that your parents and your background and the things that I've learned from you over the years quite fascinating.
Okay. I'm a hybrid wherever I go. My parents were from two very different parts of India. And one thing that most people would not know is that India is way not homogenous.
Right.
America is far more homogenous. We all speak the same language, for instance. My parents do not. Their native tongues are completely different. And it always amuses me when people ask me, well, do you speak, I'm just going to say Indian just because it's funny. Yeah, there's no such language, but it's funny.
Right.
But the answer is absolutely not, because my parents came from two distinct linguistic groups. And so I speak English and Canadian and Australian and Scottish. I've got a very good Scottish accent. I speak variations of this one language. That's it, which is all I speak. So wherever I go, I don't get to fit in, which has been interesting and entertaining. I mean, it certainly, when you're always an outsider, wherever you go, you learn to look at things from that perspective, as an outsider looking on the inside. And that's been my life story, has been looking out from into the inside and trying to make connections and trying to understand.
Right.
And it's the kind of narrative that, once again, I think defines America, because I think that's all of us.
Right.
Everyone here is displaced. You know, even when we talk about Native Americans, when we talk about the original, and I do say that, First Nation rock and roll, you know. and I will say this too. This is just for me. This is not these guys. I'm not representing. But when Donald Trump does say that we need to get rid of foreigners, I do agree. That means everyone in this room, we just got to give it back to the natives, and then we got to kick them out too, because even they wandered here, right? There are no actual original Americans. Therefore, this is a country of travelers, wanderers, settlers, strangers, and the exiled.
But isn't that the definition of American?
Yes,
though?
absolutely.
Okay, so we
yes.
are all Americans.
No, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
We are all foreigners. We're all of the
Exactly.
things. And we're all out of our box.
Exactly.
Right. What now?
What's one of the things, though, that kind of unite us, that made us a common
Sex.
trait?
Sex. Sex. Exactly. No. I'm taking the high five on that one.
I was going to say
I
cheese,
thought
but
maybe-
I was going to say nuts, but okay.
Yeah, sex and that, both good answers. I think what strikes me is the assimilation, how we all get here from all the different cultures, religions, if you will, everything, and we all become American. We assimilate and we adopt the American culture. We don't try to hang on to our old.
I feel like they do, and they morph it a little here and there.
to an extent, except that eventually, after a couple generations, it all blends in there anyway.
Right.
Because this same discussion that we're having today, you know, with immigration and all that stuff, they're having this conversation after World War II with the
I know, right?
Italians and the Germans
Yeah.
coming in here,
Right.
and the Irish, and then before that it was somebody else, and before that it was somebody else.
Yeah. So I mean,
So it's always gone on.
Right, it has, because I mean, when my ancestors came here, I mean, like I said, I can trace my German heritage back long time ago. The other big one would be my Irish heritage. Those are my two biggest, okay? And yeah, there's some French and some other, thrown in there for some spice, okay, whatever. But the two biggest that I have been able to find is Irish and German. So when my ancestors came here, they had that hyphenated, you're a German American.
Right.
Yeah.
You're American German. You're Irish American. You're American Irish. And I'm just sitting here going, wait a minute. I'm sick of this. So, although I don't personally live that right now, I don't. Nobody comes up to me and goes, oh, you're a German American. Or you're an
That's
Irish
because
American.
those
That's
those
because
stigmas
that's
from
now
the
called
last
white.
two generations
That's
are
right,
gone.
because it's
That's
now
right.
called white.
The stigma-
German, Swiss.
It's been flattened. It's been flattened
it's-
to white.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
white.
I will share this, and I feel the need to share this. I mean, I don't know that I've necessarily felt a lot of racism in my life. I will say that the strangest thing that happened to me, and you've known me for a long time, my hair was typically down
Right.
through here. But the weirdest thing to happen to me was leaving LA after the Paris
We talked
bombings.
about that. Okay, yeah.
And
Tell us what happened.
it was just the mood and the vibe. It was just the fact that for the first time in my life, and I've been traveling internationally and nationally my whole life, in LAX of all places, in Los
And
Angeles.
that one surprises me, but
Yes, it surprised
What,
me.
did you become abundantly aware that you are Indian?
I became abundantly aware that I was frightening to people
Yeah.
that I had never been frightening to. That the kind of people that would have just looked at me and gone, oh, there's a long-haired brown hippie guy, were suddenly going,
Before.
oh, crap, yes. And I didn't feel that after 9/11. Even. So, I mean, this does go to the fact that there is a tension happening, and there's a discussion that needs to happen. And I want to say this too. I want to state this categorically. I was really terrified that there was going to be a whole bunch of stupid backlash against unwitting people, which happened after 9/11. I mean, people were shooting Sikhs. Sikhs had nothing to do with this. People in turbans had nothing to do with 9/11, right?
right.
But I'm grateful that, honestly, we have shown great restraint as a nation. We have not self-destructed. We have not turned on our own. We have not become as ugly.
I feel like it's because we played into it so many times, we're starting to become aware of this little pattern.
I think so.
And so that's why we didn't play into it as much. We're like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
I really do.
We're gonna have to come right back, and we're gonna have to come back. But wow! Real people, real life,
We're for real.
for real. Be right back. Where's my nuts?
Give me my.
Welcome back, real people, real life. Once again, grab your nuts. Okay.
We're all nuts.
Now,
Well, the conversation didn't stop during the break. It
Oh.
continued, and so it kind of ventured into this whole how to remedy the problem of being separated,
Right.
which
And I think Don even made this point as well. I mean, I think you've all made this point. It's as we continue to blend and we eat each other's food and we make out and have babies with each other's cultures, these things do blend.
they're
So,
resolving themselves,
right.
eventually through time.
So I would suggest that there are two issues here that we need to consider. Issue one is, what is your favorite food from another country? I think we need to ask that of everyone at this not round table. It's a very
Honestly,
smart
is
table.
it my favorite food from another country that's been affected by it being
Oh, totally.
Americanized
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Okay, because I would say Chinese food. But if
Okay.
you go to China and you
Totally
eat,
different.
you're
Totally
not
different.
going to get a crab rangoon. Okay?
No, you're not.
And if you do, it's not going to be pronounced like that for real, and it's not going to taste like
Right.
that.
General Tso's chicken.
No.
They actually went back and found the relatives or his not ancestors.
Whoever brought it
but-
here.
No, well, no, somebody else brought it.
Yeah.
But they went and found his family over there in China. They had never heard of it before. He
I didn't even know that
he
there
didn't
was
even cook.
That's funny.
He didn't even know how to
He
cook.
journal. He liked
Yeah.
journal.
Well, I grew up with a lot of German food. You know, I mean, I got cussed out, from my grandma in German. So, it was my favorite foods were German. And
Borscht?
and
What's your favorite?
Geduffel noodles.
I don't know what this
What is a Geduffel noodle? Okay, well, I'll tell you.
I was married to a German one for 10 years. I didn't know this.
I would give anything to make them like my grandma did and like my aunt did, and my dad would be completely thrilled if I could. But it's basically a thick noodle, okay, and you make it into a square. You take mashed potatoes, breadcrumbs, and you kind of pinch it up, okay, together.
It's like spätzle.
Okay, and then you
Right.
throw it in a heavy cream. That's your broth, okay, with more.
God, this sounds so fattening.
Oh, honey,
Delicious.
honey. Now, German food is very fattening.
It is, yeah.
Very fattening. And
It's
now- and
mostly
then
raw.
once you
No,
get-
that's great.
Once you get the beer involved, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew
Cooking a
up.
beer?
No, but we do a lot of beer drinking as Germans, and we do. And then as Irish, you got to add in
Whiskey
the
and beer.
yeah. So and then being Catholic, I mean, gosh, bring on the wine. So my grandma, when I was little, here she's screaming at me in German, and I'm eating all these yummy German foods, okay, that I've never found anywhere except I would say I did find some pretty good rice pudding. I don't know that that's actually German, but she made the best. But my grandma used to make her own beer and her own wine.
Oh.
Not once was her home raided. Her doors were not broke down. I didn't see a bunch of weird,
Why
Army
would that
fatigue.
happen?
Well, it's happening all over the United States right now.
I got a beer making kit. Are you telling me I can't make beer?
That's not what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about
Mass production.
Just don't sell that beer because you won't be
I don't
able
think
to do
it's
it.
even going to be.
But anyway, my food would be German that I liked. What's yours?
Oh. I'm probably going to. Ooh, that's a good question.
It was your question.
I don't have to be answer it first.
I wasn't supposed to answer.
I was stalling. Come on. I was
What is your
stalling.
favorite?
Oh gosh, honestly, probably Thai. I would probably go
Yeah.
with Thai if I had to just.
Oh, I love pho.
I'm
Is that
probably
Thai?
That's actually
Thai, Vietnamese, but I love Mexican and Mediterranean. But like
I love
Mediterranean
Mediterranean.
could be anything from the French Riviera to Lebanon to
Right.
Tunisian,
Right. Right.
Not to
and then
interrupt-
Indian. I like Indian
Yes,
food.
not to interrupt this story, but I got to share this. Randomly, Sean and I ended up in Rome at the same time, and his son went on this pizza eating expedition. I mean, he ate more pizza than any than any college kid should eat, right? And he's a college kid, but it was just pizza, because he was looking for the best piece of pizza ever.
In Rome.
In Rome.
Rome, you gotta love
And he found it at all places at an Irish
Pub.
restaurant.
Oh,
pub.
really?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was the best.
It was. He was just like, oh guys, you gotta try this. This is the best piece of pizza ever.
And it was from.
And we were at an Irish pub. And it was honestly the best piece of pizza I've ever tasted in my life.
I've been to Ireland, and I got to tell you, man, there's some good eating there.
I know that the kids we had on for that foreign exchange thing, they just love food not from here, from
Yeah.
home. Like they say our food's disgusting.
I would almost have to agree.
So I would have to ask people elsewhere, like, what's your favorite American food?
What is? What is? Okay, well, what
They're gonna say
I guess
McDonald's.
Americana, would be like holiday food.
Cheeseburgers?
No,
Steak and potato or something. I mean, it's
or
like
turkey. I was going with turkey.
I
Yeah.
think another important definition or not the word I want, distinction
Yeah.
would be, are we talking about foods from restaurants or fast food chains or the stuff that we make at home? Because that's all different.
But do we really make stuff at home anymore except for holidays?
Some people
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, some people
Do you guys really? How many? Okay, no. How many of you cook?
I cook every single.
I know he cooks.
My
That's awesome.
my husband's back there going, he cooks more than
I
I
don't
do,
eat
and that's
fast
true.
food.
That's great that you guys cook, but you guys, I mean, I don't know how many of you out there are watching this cook. That's what they're telling you. But you're in the minority here. Finally, I'm in the majority. The brown guy is in the majority because I don't cook, and I am in the majority. I wish I did.
But your mother, I understand, is a fabulous cook.
That's why I don't have to cook. It's terrible. I know where to go.
You don't want him in the kitchen because it'll burn down.
Yes.
Really? Oh, yeah, I don't think
he
I
will
need
burn
that.
it down.
I don't need
I
that.
can burn water. I can burn a pan.
I can burn cereal. I got hot on that.
Leanna's
Toaster on
favorite
fire.
food. Leanna's favorite food.
Cheeseburger and Pepsi.
Seriously?
Ever since Belushi, I love Belushi. Cheeseburger, Pepsi.
Cheeseburger.
I was going to say, when it comes to American food, a really good hamburger, I'm not talking McDonald's, but
Yeah,
a really good cheeseburger with the lettuce and the tomato.
But that's really German, though.
Yeah,
But that's not really
French fries
American.
are French.
Yeah, but we're talking, part of your question was what kind of
Americanized.
culture has
True.
been American.
True.
And I think it would be the cheeseburger.
I would think so, too.
Hamburger and frankfurters.
So in other
or hot
words,
dogs.
we don't actually own a food as Americans, do we? It's everybody else's, and we
Corn. Corn is the one American food we've got.
American
We can do maize.
That's Native American.
Well, you know what's funny is that the original explorers took the potatoes and the tomatoes back from South America to Europe. So when you think Italian cooking, the tomato wasn't introduced there until more recently.
No.
Yeah, and the potatoes in Ireland
Yeah.
came from South America originally.
So nothing's
Which is just
related
weird.
to wherever it is.
Yeah.
The potato famine in Ireland.
Yeah.
What's that?
When we were in Ireland, we went to where so many of the children and the people were buried during the time
Oh,
of
yeah?
the potato famine. Yeah, and it was what was it? Killarney, that's right. But we toured, Ireland, and it was just phenomenal. I mean, I can't tell you. Everything from Dublin, the city culture, to these beautiful, lush, green, fields. I mean, it's such a beautiful place. The cliffs, and then right there to, where the potato famine and all the people that died from that. Right there at that church, we were there. The name of the library, the biggest. Trinity, isn't it? Yes, Trinity. Wow, you could, and of course this has probably been 10, 12 years since I've been there. I would love to go back again. You could spend days in that library there. Have you been there?
No, I've only been to Scotland. I've not made it to Ireland
Have
yet.
you been to Ireland yet? Anybody?
No.
Been to Scotland.
Amsterdam.
Okay.
I drank a really good pint of Gibson.
Actually, I toured that facility, and I still don't like the beer. But anyway, but the Trinity library there, and there's the school and everything. I mean, I was seeing things enclosed in glass that were so old and so ancient. It went way back to the Celtic. So it's just fascinating. And I said this before, and somebody kind of got upset with me about it. But I did say this, and I think it's true. Get a passport and go travel outside of Kansas, and then come back and let's have a discussion of a more worldly nature here.
Absolutely.
Because I can't deal with somebody whose idea of traveling is going from Wichita to Hutchinson State Fair and then wants to talk to me about worldly issues.
And
I can't do it.
I need to, and I'm going to just piggyback on that. And I know you had to say something.
Yeah,
So
that's okay. Now I have two things. So
I'll make this quick. First of all, a shout out to everyone that has served in our military.
Exactly.
And the reason I'm saying this is one of the things that this freaks some people out. Okay, because I literally am on the left of this table. I know this. Okay, so one would think that I don't have any military friends. On the flip side, I have so many people that I consider dear to my heart that served because of the exact same thing you said. The very fact, people that have gone and served get to see the world, and it changes them. They get to experience all these things that most of us don't. And I have found that all of them just come back with far bigger world views.
Correct.
And then that they left with.
Right.
So,
Well, I said something that no matter what the place is, how beautiful it is. One of the places I used to love to go every 6 months was Mezamaloya, which is a small village outside of Puerto Vallarta. Okay, did I take you?
Yeah.
I think I did. Okay, I took you there, didn't I? Anyway, the culture there is amazing, and I don't think it was on that trip, but on another trip, we got involved with a group called Children of the Dump. And met some fascinating people, and these children literally lived and fed themselves and their families out of the dump. They did not go to school. When we were working with them for the last couple years that we were there, we went to the coolest thing. We went to what was the 8th grade graduation of a class from the Children of the Dump. They made a special school for free where these children could go. 8th grade was the highest level they had ever made, because once they are able-bodied enough to work, they go to work. So they were living out of the dump, feeding themselves out of the dump, completely uneducated whatsoever. And now, as of last time I was there working with them, they had made it to the 8th grade. I think that's awesome. So no matter how beautiful the place is that you travel to, I always like to say, take the road less traveled.
My mom's gonna be mad if Jen don't talk.
That's okay.
Jen, talk.
I'll say it when we come back. I think.
No,
we're not
go.
coming back.
Go.
All right. Well, first of all, we were talking about food, and I think we wanted to go back around and circle back around. Your point was the one thing that brings everybody together in America is food.
It's really one of the things.
Food.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't matter what
sex.
kind of food it is. We all can say, yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like that, or oh, but that comes from my culture, or
Right.
from your culture,
Right.
or whatever.
That seems to never be a division reason.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the second point was now.
Sex.
It happens all the time.
Sexy, they don't care what the culture is.
I know, right? There you go. That's
I've
so true. That's
never
so
heard of them
true.
doing
Well,
physical
we have got to get over to our spotlight on local business, so we'll be right back. More real people, real life. So, real people, real life, and we are back with our spotlight on business. So, Jordan's with us again. Jordan, how you
everybody.
doing, sweetie?
Yay.
Yay!
Thanks for having me back.
And
Appreciate
you're
it.
going to help me shed the 15 extra pounds.
He inspired
Well, I
me.
already got
I know.
20 down to 15. Awesome.
Well, I know, right?
Well, I just we just show up and that's what happens.
I know, right? Thank you, Jordan. All
That's
right,
how I
good.
keep coming back. See.
I know, right? Okay, so tell me what's going on. I mean, a lot of us that, maybe have, gained some of the holiday weight, or, a lot of people get into that depression and the cashews don't work, and so they indulge in overeating. So,
Well, that's one thing that's interesting. You bring that up because in our we do custom meal planning for folks, and one of the things that we always bring in is cashews, almonds, things like that. Just because
Why?
it does.
Even as fattening as she said they are?
Well, there's good fats and there's bad fats.
right.
We don't have time to get into all that, but there's good fats in the nuts. Plus, a lot of times they're packed with protein as well. So if you're going to have a snack option, that's a solid option. But to kind of go back to as far as you had mentioned earlier in the show, that a lot of times during the holidays people can get very depressed. And one of the things that we do with our programs is getting people up, getting people moving, and getting people exercising.
Thank you.
Get that endorphin release. Get that.
Once you get going, it's usually easy to keep that pace, but
Yeah.
it's getting going.
And then a lot of times it becomes almost addictive because
portion?
you sure.
Is it?
That would work. Now the problem is how many portions have you had since we've been on the show?
No, I just need to know if that is important.
Okay, I need to ask you a question. How do you indulge? Because you're obviously very fit and obviously very much into this. When you are misbehaving, what
is
what
it?
do you
yeah.
do? Lay it on us.
Well, and that's a great point because people ask me all the time. Well, you just have no fun ever. You just hate your life. Well, no, not at all. Here's the thing. And, so through the holidays, I enjoyed everything. Now, but my meal planning and my diet pretty much sticks to the same thing. So protein heavy,
Okay.
good fats, light on the carbs, and then
You
lots
missed
of
one,
veggies.
indulgence.
Now here's the thing. What everybody forgets is that there's a dessert plate.
Homemade pies.
Correct? There's a dessert plate. Now, so many people forget this. Your dinner plate is not your dessert plate.
Oh man.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
You're not supposed to eat the whole pie.
So what I tell the ladies and the fellas that I work with, okay, take your dessert plate, walk into your, to wherever your desserts are, whatever it is, and you can fill that plate. Now, here's the thing. You can
I
fill
have
the entire
stacking
thing.
abilities.
Now, that's what I tell them. You can fill the entire thing. You cannot stack it more than a single level. So, if
You
you
fill
want
that
to
whole
enjoy
fucking
something, or if there's, a plethora of treats there, well then
Take a bite.
take a little bit of everything.
Right.
Just because something's cut into that size of a piece doesn't mean
You can't cut
that
it
is
again.
that's.
No, let me ask you this question too. I'm sorry, no. Robert.
But as far as that goes, salt is more my Achilles heel than sweets
Here's the
are. For me.
thing,
I can
did
walk
you
past sweets all day. That's not a
Do
problem.
your
for me.
friends consider you crazy? Like that's all you do is fitness, and that?
No, not at all. It's all about creating that balance,
Right.
and that's because there are people out there that
Take
they're
it to the
they're
next
so over the top and they're almost in your face with it.
Right.
Well, I have a friend who she is so psycho about being in the gym that every free second she's in the gym. Like, where are you going to go shopping? When are you going to hang out with the girls? When are you going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and like I said, it's all about creating balance. You can be in great
Workout
shape
mode.
and not have to train more than a few hours a week. And what a lot of people don't understand is they could get better results if they could actually gear it down a little bit. People that are
That's
at
true.
that, because a lot of times,
Your body's
unless they're on a very set regimented program, a lot of times they're beating themselves up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Which
that
isn't
was
necessary.
which was the segue to my question.
Oh,
Do
sorry.
you buy? No, I wasn't. Do you think that I've heard paleolithically 5 meals a day is better? What are your opinions on this? Is it better to eat smaller portions throughout the day, or is it better to do 3 big meals or 2 big meals? What do you think?
Well, it kind of depends on, because males and females are somewhat different in that regard. The females that we work with, they tend to do better with the five meals spread out. Okay. The guys that we work with, they tend to do a little bit better. We can stack them a little bit more, based off of around their schedule. It's just because everybody's a little bit different.
What do you do?
Me personally, I focus more on intermittent fasting is what I do. So I try
Intermittent fasting.
intermittent fasting.
How?
I do that all the time.
So what that is you're basically getting all your calorie total in roughly an 8 to 9 hour window of the day.
And then you fast for the rest of the day.
and you're fasting
until the next morning.
Actually,
I'm
I'm bad because I will go an entire day. I
But
get so busy, I don't eat.
ladies
Don't
don't
do
do
it.
as well
Yeah.
with that.
And I don't.
Hormonally,
Can-
you struggle with that.
Can I trade you a fitness tip?
I'm all for.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds
I always
good.
tell everybody I'm a huge water drinker. Like you saw me drink a pop. That's the first pop I've drinking. When I say this year, I mean in 2015, probably I've had maybe 3.
She's done that a couple times now.
I don't.
I haven't done it all this year.
Just this year. But
now
I
the
don't
fourth.
drink pop. I drink water, and I always tell everybody it takes your body 25 burned calories to warm ice cold water to digestive temperature. So, and I tell people that all the time. It's a good way to keep your metabolism going. Drink water, lots of ice cold water. How about you? You got one for me?
Well, first of all, I totally agree with the water side of things, and that's one thing that I see guys and gals almost,
Mistakenly.
almost to a
They don't do
person,
enough.
they're almost all dehydrated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
true story.
well, I'm always sluggish. I don't have any energy. Well, a lot of that goes back to the fact that you're dehydrated, or I'm just hungry all the time. Have you tried to have a glass of water?
Thirsty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a regimen for water?
Well, my general suggestion is try to get half your body weight in fluid ounces a day.
Oh.
So if you're 200
Half my
pounds,
body weight?
if you're a 200-pound male, you need roughly 100 ounces of water.
Gotcha.
Now, obviously, if you're working out,
that's
or
what
if you're
I've been
working outdoors, or if you're doing something physical, that number can jump up. But here's the thing:
yeah, more?
what people don't understand is your body will adapt to the stimulus that it's given. And so a lot of people, if all of a sudden you upped your water regimen overnight.
Right.
What are you going to have to do all the next day?
Pee, because your body's going to be dumping it because you're used to not using it.
Exactly,
Right.
because your body's not used to that. But you give that a week, you give that 2 weeks,
And then it won't. It'll
and then
use
your
it.
body has adapted to it. Now everything starts to fire.
But now you go without it and you feel extreme suffering from the dehydration and all that. You feel it. a
Yes,
lot
you'll
more.
notice it a lot more, and you'll be more in tune with your body
Yeah.
for sure.
You know that we're redoing a lot of things on our website. I want to be sure and say thanks to Jen on that. That's going to be including some of our guest hosts, as on a regular basis.
Is that Real People, Real Life?
Real People, Real Life, Wichita.com. In addition to having, guest hosts on a regular basis, we're also going to have another category that's going to be our Real People, Real Life experts in their industries. So I do want everybody to say, hello, Jordan.
Hello, Jordan.
You are our first of 2016.
Fantastic.
You're going to be our expert.
It's still only the fourth. That's
I know, right? Woo!
not like it's
Life
March.
challenge, like Real People, Real Life, Real Results, and make you the guy the go-to guy on the page. Like, can we?
I would love to. We're actually putting a group together right now. Free female fat loss with Kansas Strength and Performance. It's just an online group that we're putting together with through Facebook.
How do you get on that?
Which is, you can go straight to Facebook and you can look the group up. Now it's a private group, so I'll have to bring you in just
Accept you.
because we
And
don't
say it
want.
again.
It's free female fat loss with Kansas Strength and Performance.
With Kansas Strength and
So what we're going to be
Performance.
doing is just really just trying to open people's eyes to a lot of kind of, there's a lot of misnomers out there. There's a lot of confusion out there. The tricky thing about the internet is it's almost a gluttony of information.
Yes.
And so anyone can get on
And say anything.
and post anything, and people will take it as,
Like, you eat
good, bad, or
4
otherwise.
Butterfingers a day.
Yeah. I mean, you could get on, and you could say, hey, here's random person's health tip of the day. And just like you said, if you eat 4, our studies have shown. First of all, who did the study?
Yeah, I know. That's why I
First of all,
say
who
Google
did the
it.
study? What are you backing it up
Right,
with?
our studies show.
Yeah, because we were just talking about statistics too, just earlier. Yeah. Oh, well, my statistics show that you can eat Butterfingers all day and you'll look great. Okay. So then I'll be working with somebody and they'll say, oh, well,
I heard I've been eating 4 Butterfingers a day. How come I'm not losing any weight?
Yeah, exactly. And so, so that's something that we're really excited about, and I would love to try and set something up,
Yes.
a challenge.
Absolutely.
For
Oh, I
sure. I
want
think
to
that
do
would be.
that.
I think that would be a
Yes.
blast.
Yeah.
And then we also have, on the flip side of that, we have our executive alpha training, which is kind of our male equivalent to that, because just like we were talking about, men and women, they train differently. They a lot of times they eat differently. Now there is obviously a lot of common ground, but
And hormonally speaking, it's a different
Yeah.
thing
Can
too.
I ask you a really important question? And
That
this
would
is
be
kind
great.
of a subject nobody ever wants to talk about, but does
this is great. I love it when this happens. Hey, so I'm going to bring something up that nobody ever wants to speak about.
Does pooping every day matter? I mean, you should. It's like your dog, right? At 20 minutes after your dog eats, you got to take out because it's supposed to poop. That's how
Okay.
your body is supposed to. And if you don't you gain weight. I mean, this is legitimate.
No. It's a very fair question. It is a very fair question. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back.
I don't think I've ever seen Robin quite this red. This is great.
It's a very fair question. Now, what I equate that to is your gut health. Your gut health is very important. Now, as far as how many times you should be, we'll call it passing. How many times you should be passing a day? Once again, that's going to be a little bit different.
But
for
shouldn't you
everyone.
poop every single day?
Yes, you
Say that
should.
3 times
Okay,
fast.
now let me elevate this discussion.
wait a minute.
Let's really run with
Wait a minute.
Macrobiotics for poop.
Yes.
Real life.
That's
Now,
what I'm
it has been seen online. It has been seen online, and there's studies and there's statistics, and you can go find this. Okay, there really is a site. Is this what your poop looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, because if
Oh,
it
my
looks like
goodness.
this, you have this wrong. If it looks
Oh
like
God,
that,
that's
you have
another
that wrong.
example of the.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like
Poop,
type
yeah.
in WebMD and tell them you got a mole on your arm. Next thing you know, your whole body's gonna be
Exactly.
fine.
I know, right?
But do you do the macrobiotics? Just for our viewers, what do you think about
I'm
macrobiotics?
sorry.
I don't get.
Did we?
We are out of time.
But-
Jordan, thank you.
Did we get what you needed out there, Jordan? Because I don't.
I was just gonna just gonna say, along with our ladies, we have our executive
Bye,
alpha training,
Julian.
which is kind of the
Bye, Mom.
equivalent of that of the ladies side of things.
Okay, we'll see you now. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Julian.
Bye-bye.